Just over a year ago, we launched the Full View project. Our vision was to renovate the space at the front of our building that was formerly a bank into a community space and a cafe. This would be a space for the community, a space for gathering, a space for fun, a space for friendship. It would be a living room for the whole community. It'd also be a space which would create opportunities for people to get back into employment, a place where we could have a business that would help sustain the work of the church. It would be a space that we could use as a church for community events, for alphas, for support groups. It would be a real space that would help us have impact into the city, a real visible high street presence. Now, a year down the line, and so over the last year, we felt God has been asking three things of us. Firstly, that we would have faith that we would see this done. We know that with building projects, they can often rumble on, and we do lose belief and faith that it's going to happen. It felt like God is saying to us, would we have faith that he could do it? And we've seen incredible faith amongst our church community, incredible excitement, incredible belief that what God is going to do through this is going to help further his kingdom. The second thing that he was asking was that we would give ourselves to prayer, that we know that we cannot do it in our own strength. We need miraculous provision. We also want it to be just so focused on building the kingdom that we need God to move. And so we've been giving ourselves to prayer. And it was so encouraging a couple of weeks ago to gather together in the main hall to share about our plans and to give ourselves to prayer. And such faith rising in that room. And I know that many of you have been praying over this last year. And thank you so much for your partnership and commitment to praying for this project. And thirdly, God was asking us to give ourselves to sacrificial generosity. We know that the money we're talking about, the money we're trying to raise, is huge sums of money, and we've been busy speaking with local businesses. We've been busy putting in funding applications, and we're hoping and praying for good news soon on that front. But we knew that it wasn't going to be a case of everyone outside of the church was going to give the money to release it, that it was going to demand something of us. And so you gave last year to launch the project, to help us engage with fundraisers, to help us work with our architects. And now, as we approach a key part of this project, we are asking you again just to consider how you can be sacrificially generous in this season. That it is going to demand something of us to see this completed. And so on Sunday, the 5th of March, we're going to have our gift day. And this is a chance for us to give towards this project, to consider how we can give so that the church together commits and invests in this project, to see not just plans happening, but actually to see builders on site. This money that we're going to raise on the 5th of March is going to help us get to a point where we're actually physically starting the work. And won't that be a wonderful day? And as we approach gift days that we do every year, I feel there's an opportunity for us to do two things. One of them is to consider where we are giving, how we are stewarding what God has given us. I know that often we just, we can spend our money and we think very little about what we're doing. And actually a gift day gives us a chance to look at our bank accounts, to look at how we're spending our money and to say, is this stewarding what God has given us? Are we being generous? Are we a generous people? Gives us a chance, if you're part of if you're married or part of a family, to sit down together and say, where are we spending our money? And is that where we want to be spending our money? Are we being a generous people? Are we stewarding well what God has given us? And for some people, that will mean saying, actually, we need to start giving to the church. Maybe it's for some people saying, no, we can increase what we're giving. For others, it may mean, actually, as you look at it, you say, actually, we need to decrease what we're giving because we don't have the finances available at the moment. And they're all good things to do because we want to steward well what God has given us. But also it's a chance for us to consider, can we give a one-off gift above and beyond what we normally give? These one-off gifts have really helped launch different phases of us as a church and our journey, helping us buy buildings, helping us employ staff, helping us plant churches, helping us launch new initiatives. I think of gift days that have raised money to buy Jubilee Central. I think of gift days that have raised money to launch River City Church, to launch Jubilee Life College, to employ staff members, including myself. We have seen God do some incredible things, and we've seen God multiply incredibly the money that we have given. We've seen money come in from bizarre and random sources at times. And it's often happened as we have stepped out in faith, as we have generously given. And so as we approach the gift day next week, I would love you firstly to sit down with your finances and just to ask the question, how am I stewarding what God has given me? And secondly, I'd love you to consider, what can you give? Can you join with us on the 5th of March? We're going to have a great celebration. We're going to celebrate God's provision for us. We're going to party. We're going to celebrate all that God is doing with us. And we're going to be praying for all that God will do with us in the future. And so I'd love you to come ready to give. I'd love if you've got kids, I'd love you to share with them about what you're going to be doing so you can come and give as a family. If you are, if you're struggling financially, I want you to come and join us. We're part of a community. Not everybody is going to be able to give, but everyone can join in as we celebrate. But for each of us, I would love us to consider if we're able to give. I'd love us to pray for the sums of money to come in from other sources at this time. But primarily as we approach the gift day, I'd love us to consider, what is God demanding of us in this season? How can we be sacrificially generous to making this project a reality? And so it's been so encouraging over the last few weeks, to hear of sums of money coming in from sources, from local businesses who have just said, we love what you're doing. Last week I heard of a church who have a contact with one of our church members over in America, just a small rural church, saying, we want to give part of our offering to the Full View Project, to be invited in a couple of weeks to go and share another church in the region who have said, we'd love to support you and get behind this. And hearing people who are taking on fundraising activities. One of our teenagers who did a jewellery store at Christmas and made jewellery and gave all the money she raised to the Full View Project. To hear of coffee mornings happening with people raising money, and it is incredible just to see the community coming together to see this vision become a reality. And so as we come on the 5th of March, let's come expectant, let's come ready to see God do an amazing work, and let's come ready to give. You can find out loads more detail about the project at notdull.org/fullview. But 5th of March, gift day. I would love to invite you just over these coming days to really be praying, how can you get involved? Thank you so much, and look forward to celebrating with you on the 5th of March.